So when we talk about the Bud Light debacle that's going on right now for Anheuser-Busch, one of the things we hear all the time is that they're trying to say that it's going to die down, right? It's going to die down any second now. Don't worry. Things are going to go back to normal. We're going to become profitable again. All this other stuff. They're going to pretend as if this boycott doesn't exist because A, they haven't admitted anything publicly about being wrong, and B, they definitely haven't admitted that they're being boycotted by both sides of the aisle now, not just one particular side, even though a lot of news media corporations like to only talk about the conservative side of the boycott. They don't want to talk about the fact that a lot of LGBTQ people are also boycotting Bud Light. But apparently, a former executive for Anheuser-Busch just recently came out and essentially roasted the company and said that the Bud Light backlash is not going to go away anytime soon. The title of the article from Fox News says Bud Light sales have dropped for the fifth week in a row now. This is the fifth week in a row, guys. That is insane levels of boycotting. This was published today at the time of filming this video, so we're going to get into this article, guys. But of course, before we do, just consider giving this video a like so you can push us down to the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing if you hate Bud Light, because we're on our way to 19,000 subscribers. It says a former Anheuser-Busch executive is warning that the Bud Light backlash is not going away anytime soon after the beer brand reported another drop in sales for the fifth week in a row. Now, the crazy thing is, I think you can see the fact that it's not going to go away anytime soon, aside from the sales. Just forget the sales as a whole right now, even though that's obviously very important. One of the biggest things is the absolute backlash is happening over social media. It is not quiet out there, obviously, right? Like, you guys are watching this video because you're very interested in keeping up with the news that's happening with Bud Light. And you're not the only ones. There is millions of people out there that want to constantly talk about this. They don't want to leave the conversation alone. We want to constantly keep talking about this because the companies like Bud Light need to realize that when you do this stuff, we're not going to let it go away anymore. We are going to make sure that it's constantly in the public eye, because this is what they do on the other side of things, right? So whenever we have LGBTQ people who are pissed off, what do? They constantly talk about it in your face 24/7. They make sure they don't leave you alone until you're fucking vomiting rainbows by the time they're done talking to you. So we're going to do the same thing as they do. And I hope that conservatives get their shit together and really keep this going. And honestly, they keep going with this with other companies as well that decide to do this nonsense. It says consumers feel like they're having impact. Every single week, these sales numbers are being reported, and they're getting worse and worse every single week. So I see this continuing to drag on until Bud Light makes a comment about what they stand for and what customers they're going to serve, former Anheuser-Busch executive Anson Frericks said on Varney & Co. on Friday. Now, you know what's crazy about this statement is that because they decided to make a political statement with showcasing Dylan Mulvaney, because they went that route, now they're being forced to have to come out and make a statement about who they serve as customers. But the funny thing is, before they made this whole thing with Dylan Mulvaney, they didn't have to do that. Bud Light could have just been Bud Light, and they could have just sold their product to whoever wanted to buy it. That's the beautiful thing about remaining apolitical. You can just sell your product to whoever's willing to purchase it if they see value in your product. But now you decided to make a political statement, so now you're forced to pick a side, and that's why these companies need to stop this shit and stop getting political, because by doing so, you are going to immediately alienate yourself from 50% of potential customers that you could have had you just shut the hell up. That's the whole reason why this company is at where it's at to begin with. Budweiser or Anheuser-Busch didn't get where it's at by going woke. They didn't get where it's at by trying to pander to one particular side of the political army. They got where they were at because they sold beer to whoever wanted to buy beer. That's all they were doing. Now you want to make a statement, and now you got to pick a side, and that's the situation that you see yourself in now. It said Bud Light continued to see a decline in sales during the month of May as consumers nationwide continued to revolt against the nation's top-selling beer brand over its controversial partnership with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. With Bud Light, that was never part of the brand or part of the message, and I think that's what upsets so many people here, and that's why I think this boycott is going to go on a lot longer than people give it credit for, Frerick said. Compared to a year ago, retail sales of Bud Light in the U.S. were down almost 24% in the week ending on May 6th, surpassing the 23.3% decline the brand saw in the last week of April, according to data from Bump Williams Consulting and Nielsen IQ, cited by the New York Post. Now, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Like, the fact that this boycott has lasted lasted for 5 weeks is amazing as it is. I mean, forget the fact that they're trying to say that, oh, it's going to burn out, it's not going to last much longer. The fact that it lasted 5 weeks, a month, is amazing to me. And it lost the company so much money, not only in actual cash, but in market value as well, which is drastic. So, I mean, that alone is huge, and we need to see more of that. It says there's two reasons that boycotts tend to be successful. The first is when it's easy for consumers to switch to other brands, which is what I said before. There is a million other brands out there for beer. Why is Bud Light going to be the top of anybody's priority? If you don't want to do what the customer is asking you to do and give the customer what they want, there is a million other beer brands out there that will do exactly that. Thus, you lose the money. It's not like you're creating gold here. You're not creating something that nobody else is offering. You're making beer, okay? You're making subpar beer. Literally the easiest beer to make, you're making it. You're not making some sort of crazy brew or anything like that. It's Bud Light. So many other people provide that same service, if not better or much better, for the same price or maybe slightly more, and people will end up wanting to spend more if they're going to get what they want and not get preached to. It says, and it's secondarily when people feel like they're having impact, Ferrick said. And in this, Bud Light is not very much different than Coors Light or Miller Lite. It's water, it's barley, it's hops. What sets it apart is its messaging, and it's so easy for consumers to switch to grocery store, the convenience store, and consumers feel like they're having an impact. What does Bud Light stand for? Bud Light was a brand that was never about politics, which it should have stayed that way. He continued, this is always about a brand that brought people together. It was about football, it was about sports, it was about music. It never got involved in political situations. That's why it was enjoyed by both Republicans and Democrats equally. And that was what made the brand actually remarkable, is that it was remarkably unpolitical, and this is just a political situation they should not have gotten themselves in. This man is speaking pure facts. He is literally speaking exactly what I said early on before I even read the rest of this article. They decided to get political for a brand that wasn't political in the first place. That was the whole reason why they were able to make the amount of money they were able to make before. Now they can't do that. Now you have to pick a side. And if you don't pick a side, both sides are going to tell you to go fuck yourself. So now you're in a situation that you honestly deserve to be in because you were stupid enough to make this decision in the first place. It says, in the meantime, the company has since attempted to make amends with its customers in the worst ways imaginable, mind you. Bud Light Marketing Vice President Alyssa Heinerscheid and Daniel Blake, who oversee marketing for Anheuser-Busch's mainstream brands, both took a leave of absence. Yeah, right. That's just a way of it's basically delayed firing after the backlash, particularly after Heinerscheid was caught in an interview blasting the brand as fratty with out-of-touch humor. A new country-based ad aired during an NFL draft on April 27th as part of a new campaign. The company has also attempted to contextualize the Mulvaney videos, explaining that a third-party ad agency was responsible for the collaboration with no intention to sell the can. Anheuser-Busch stated that the marketing firm has since been fired, though it declined to name the company. Well, here's the thing about that. Even though it's a third-party ad agency, you're still the one that has to sign off on it. You're the one that has to say it's okay to run this ad to begin with. So if you decided to say it's okay, stop trying to pass blame to other people. That's the weakest thing you can do, to pass blame to other people for your stupid-ass decision to involve Dylan Mulvaney, knowing that it was going to alienate a lot of your customers. And I understand maybe Alyssa was the one to really be the one gung-ho for that, but still, that is a person that you are in charge of. She's a VP of marketing, but she's not the president. So because she was able to do what she wanted to do, now you're paying the price for it. And you can put her on a forced leave of absence all you want. We all know what that means. But at the end of the day, firing her is not going to make people want to stop the boycott. The one thing that they could have stopped the boycott with, time has already passed. They can't do it anymore. People don't care. So now your utter destruction is the only thing that myself or anybody else cares about. We want to see you lose as much money as humanly possible. And even if you don't go broke from this and you don't go bankrupt, we can still say that for over a month, you lost billions of fucking dollars and you deserve to lose every single dollar of that. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.